ROBOTS. It's a game that's 5 years old and it has amassed over 100 million downloads. Now, there are a lot of maps on the ROBOTS game, and well, it kind of makes it what the game is. The maps make the game interesting and they're extremely fun, but what if I told you that there are some maps that were taken off, deleted, never to be seen again? It's kind of creepy. These maps were on the live server or test server, and it's crazy to think that we have not seen them since. Most people don't even know about these maps, and I will shed some new light on them today. It's kind of crazy, so let's get right into it. But first, please like and subscribe and hit that bell notification because it helps me out so much. And for the month of November, every single sub that I get, I will buy one call sack and I will feature it in a video. It's gonna be crazy, guys, so let's get right into it. Alright, so at number 5, we have the Canyon Steam Beta. So this weird beta thing that they had, it was on the test server, and it was only on Steam, by the way. Only our Steam players, the little 5% of the players, actually got to be able to see this. So this is a very rare one. So it was the Canyon. The Canyon got this revision that was honestly breathtaking. Now, all of the maps actually got this sort of revision, but Canyon was kind of the focus here, I guess. So it was... The new graphics were run on Unreal Engine, and so basically a lot of these maps looked honestly breathtaking. It was amazing to see, and you'll have to look up some of the videos of them. So this was about last year, and they told us that they actually completely changed Canyon. They remade it. They rebuilt all of the graphics, and it looked completely different from the Canyon that we have today, and it's honestly beautiful. There was a lot more orange and yellow, and so eventually the weird thing about this map was that it went... This weird kind of Steam version eventually turned into the live server for Steam, and only Steam. Only Steam had this version of the game, and it was with all the new maps that were revised and everything, and it was beautiful. But most people's PCs couldn't really handle it. There were a lot of issues, and a lot of clans on Steam actually broke down because of it. Because most people run ROBOTS on Steam because they have low tier PCs that cannot handle a lot of the high graphic games. So they run ROBOTS, which is basically a mobile game, which is not very intensive in terms of resources. So when this new Steam was released, it was high tier graphics, guys. So most people could not use it, and so ROBOTS eventually, a couple months later, I think it was like in the 4.7 update or something, they actually removed the graphics off of Steam, and it has not been seen since. I'm kind of sad though, because those graphics were awesome. Now, I don't think that these graphics, we won't see the last of them because they were so amazing, and technology is it's advancing very fast, and one day I believe that most mobile phones will be able to run those graphics, because just look at that, guys. I so want that to come to the game. I mean, if the game is coming there sooner or later, I will wait, because that's crazy. Alright, so our next one is number 4, and that is the Weird Floor is Lava Skirmish game mode. Oh my goodness, this was a funny one, and I actually played this one before. Now, I was not on Steam, so I didn't get to play number 5, but number 4, which is this one, of course, the floor is lava, I got to play, and it was so fun, and I made a video about it a while ago, but I didn't use the gameplay for it. I used someone else's because, well, that gameplay was a little bit laggy, a lot, definitely. So this skirmish was one of the odder ones, because basically the rules were, if you touch the ground, you wouldn't instantly die, but you would take like a couple thousand damage per second, which added up, and it was really annoying if you didn't time your jumps right. And so basically you had a couple of ravens and a couple of hovers, and the object of the game was, of course, to kill as many people as possible. And it was always it was some weird gameplay, I gotta say, because like, just imagine a bunch of hovers and ravens running around trying to fire at each other while trying not to touch the ground. It messed some people up, I gotta say. I remember seeing a bunch of people just fall onto the ground and dying slowly over time because they couldn't jump. They were waiting for their ability to, kind of recharge, and they could not jump, and they died on the ground. It was a really funny skirmish, I gotta say. I mean, I've had some fun skirmishes that I've played, some weird and wacky ones, but this was definitely, it has a fond spot in my heart because just the weird map that we had there. And so the map had some weird Shenzhen components, I guess you would call it. So all those weird things from Shenzhen, like the city, the stadium, all those things, they basically rearranged and put them everywhere on the map, and then they just put lava as the floor, and that was the map. They definitely didn't put a lot of effort and time into this map because, it was just a skirmish, but it was really funny to watch. And it was only around for a couple of days. I gotta say, this is one of the most limited time maps ever on Warbots. Like, most of the maps I'm talking about here today are going to be around for, I would say a couple of months or at least maybe a week or so. This map only lasted for a few days and then boom, it was gone. You could not play. And after that, we never saw it again, sadly. I wish that they would kind of redo the skirmishes and then we could come back to them and revisit them one day. But I miss you, Floor's Lava skirmish. Oh my goodness. Fun skirmish. At number 3, we have the bridge map. Now, this was a map that actually was never on the live server. This was on the test server, but this was going to be a map that would come to the game, and no one really knows what happened to it. So back in the day when thermites, I think, yeah, it was when thermites first came out. This was the test server where the thermites came out, and also came with it was a map called Bridge. Bridge was a weird map, and it didn't have any textures yet. A lot of times when Warbots releases maps onto the test server, the textures are not added on yet. And it was only around for a couple of weeks. Well, actually, I think it was around for a couple of months, actually. But the issue was that they took some weird break in between. And so I found the latest gameplay I possibly could of it. And they had no textures added. Ever. It was just kind of this weird, I guess, test. I mean, it's the test server, so they can do whatever the heck they want. But this map was never seen again. And this is unlike any map that I've ever seen in Warbots. This is one of those maps where, it doesn't resemble any other map. Like, number 5 was the Canyon map, of course, which resembled the original Canyon map. Number 4 had a lot of the Shenzhen elements. This one right here, number 3, it didn't resemble anything, like anything at all. And most of the time what Warbots does is they don't really delete certain content and stuff on the test server. Eventually it's going to come to the live server, but this is one of those maps that was never revisited. Like, some people think that it eventually morphed into the castle map, and that doesn't make sense because although the map does have a bunch of bridges kind of like Castle, it doesn't look anything like it. And of course, it doesn't have textures added in or anything, but this map was from 2 years ago, and still we've seen nothing about it. It was around for just a little bit, and then boom, it was gone. Never to be released onto the live server, and this is definitely one of the more spooky ones. Now, this map, honestly, it's like a medium range map, and it was... From what I've heard from people playing it, they were like, yeah, it was alright. It didn't have enough cover, there were some issues with it. But they could have changed that. They could have, still morphed around some of the structures. Because it didn't have those textures added in yet. So they could have done whatever they wanted with it. But nope, we never saw this map again. Now, however, thermites were added in eventually to the game. But nope, not the bridge that came with it. Kind of weird. At number 2, this is kind of a little two-parter, I guess. So it was Snowy Shenzhen and Snowy Dreadnought. Now, this was for last year's little event that they had, and they decided, with all the new Ares, Hades, and Nemesis, that they wanted to add in some little odd things to our maps. So for Shenzhen and Dreadnought, they added in snow. Yeah, Dreadnought's a desert. They added in snow on the desert. What is going on there? I have no idea. Warbots, they must have been doing some weird stuff because they're like, you know what, we're just gonna put snow on a desert. That's a little odd, not gonna lie. And then we had, of course, Shenzhen, which was snowy. Now, both of these maps, oh my goodness, I remember playing these maps at night, and it was honestly annoying because how snowy they were. It was white light. So as we know, the white light is very bright. And so I remember playing these maps at night, and I had to turn down my brightness even more because the maps were so bright, it hurt my eyes. And these maps were they were around for, I would say, a few months. I don't remember the exact date when they were deleted or anything, but they were just around for an event. I mean, that was pretty much it. It was Christmas, and they were like, okay, we're going to do this. And then after that, I think it was during Chinese New Year. Yeah, when they took them off. And then they made another weird thing to Shenzhen, which we're not going to mention in this video, but it was weird. What they did is Shenzhen, they actually made Shenzhen a darker map, which was kind of odd. But yeah, they took off the snow and then they turned it into nighttime mode on Shenzhen. But we're not going to mention that today. So the Snowy Dreadnought and Shenzhen. Oh my goodness. It was a weird combo, I gotta say. And we never saw it again. Oh my goodness. I hope it comes back. I hope they come back with Snowy Shenzhen and Dreadnought, please, for this Christmas update. Come on, in 1 month, when Titans come out, I really hope. Please, I'm praying to the Pixonic gods that they bring a little throwback back. Yeah. At number 1, we have YanDi Showdown. Now, this is a map that actually, out of all of them, might come back. It's most likely to come back. Now, this map was released onto the live server as an arena and skirmish mode, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think it was both at one point. And so basically, it was this huge map, and it was for 1v1 battles. Now, that is what made this map special, was the 1v1 battle aspect of it. So it wasn't like a skirmish or anything, it was 1v1. Which we have never really seen in Warbots, and these 1v1 fights were actually really intense. So we had the, what was it? We had the Falcon and of course the Phantom, and they were both going head to head, two completely different robots, and it was it was some crazy battles, guys. Now on this map, basically it was this kind of really tight close quarters fighting, and again, it's 1v1, I guess, so it makes sense that it's a smaller map because you don't have like 12 players total. You only have 2 total. So it was a smaller map and definitely very closed in, a lot of spaces, a lot of places to hide, I gotta say there. They put this place up with a lot of different barriers and everything. And so this was only around, I think, once, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been around twice, I'll have to remember. But it was an interesting map, and I liked playing it a lot. Now, the 1v1 aspect of it was pretty interesting. It was weird. I wish it would have been more like an FFA map, but rather they decided to do 1v1, which 1v1s can be pretty boring sometimes, so it was a little bit of a boring match, but still, the map was really nice. It kind of resembled Canyon, in a sense, I guess, because of the coloring and everything, but it had completely different structures to it. So this map was only around for, I'm pretty sure, once, if I'm not mistaken, and that was the YanDi Showdown event. They actually had an event for this map, and it was fun. It was pretty fun. Now, I'm pretty sure they do have plans to bring it back one day because, I mean, it's YanDi Show. They made this map specifically for this event. I don't think they're just going to throw away this map because they put so much effort into it and they put down the textures and everything. So I think we'll see it again. The 1v1 aspect was definitely popular with a lot of players. So I don't think this one is completely, I don't think they dug its grave and put it in already. You know, I think it might come back from the dead very soon. Who knows, guys? And then we have a bonus. So I'm gonna kind of count this one as a little bit of a small little extra thing. I don't know if it counts as like a deleted map, I guess, because it was really only like a little brightness change or a little color change. But basically, Moon Map became dark on a test server. And this was the reason why I'm putting this down there is because it was so popular with players. So many players were like, yes, have this come to the game. And it was surprising how many players were like, heck yeah. So this was back during when the Viper, Wasp, and the Sting were first coming out on the test server. I think it was actually only the first week. And this one was only around on the test server for actually the weekend. So this was actually a very short-lived map. And so the map was, of course, Moon Map, but it was dark. The lighting was really dark, and they did this on purpose. And so it was a nice looking map. It looked a lot better than the Moon Map we have today. Like, straight facts, though. And so it was kind of sad because a lot of players miss it, and they were really fond of it. Even though it was only around for a couple days, it grew kind of a fan base because people were like, we want this to come back. We want it to come onto the live server. And I guess Pixonic was just testing out lighting on the map. And so Pixonic just said after that weekend, they were like, I mean, Dark Moon, meh, we don't like it too much. And even though it was such a fan favorite, they just kind of scrapped it, I guess. I don't know. Maybe we might see it again, who knows, cross my fingers, but like, it's been about a year now and we have not seen anything about it. So I don't think we'll see very much about this one, but it's a cool one. It's a cool little side note, I guess, for this video. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching and listening to me blabber on about these maps. I don't even know. Have a great day. Please like and subscribe and turn on notifications because, guys, it helps me out more than you can even imagine. And I know that most of you guys are not subscribed, so do it. Do it right now, guys, because it really does help me out. And we're trying to get to 5,000 subs by the end of this year. I really want to do that, and I'm crossing my fingers that we can do that. So make my dream come true, I guess. And also, for every 1 subscriber that I get during the month of November, I will buy a Callsack. Yeah, I think currently we're up to like a couple hundred. Let's get this number up to 400. How about that? All right, I'll see you next time. This is Kamikaze, signing out.